Our learning target for today's lesson is going to be I can estimate to help solve problems. This lesson goes along with your journal pages 294 and 295. So let's get started. So right here we have the number 96 and 32. Okay, why don't we label them on the number line so that we're familiar with what numbers we're talking about. So 96 would be way down here. We know that that's that midway point between 90 and 100. So 96 would be right about here. And then we have 32, which would be right about here. 30, 31, 32. Okay, so my question for you today is I want to know which one of these two numbers, 96 or 32, is closest to a number you would say when you count by 10. Okay, so as you can see on the number line here, all of our decade numbers are labeled on the number line. And then we labeled the two numbers we're talking about, 32 and 96. So when you start at 0 and count by tens, is 96 or 32 closer to a decade number? I'm going to give you a second to think about it. You ready? So let's think about it. 32. The closest decade number is 30, and it's only 2 away. Okay, and now let's look at 96. If we look at 96, the closest decade number would be 100, but how far away is 96 from 100? 4, right? So, 2 away or 4 away? 32 is closer to a multiple of 10. Let's try one more. So we have 75 and 46. I'll label them so we're not confused. So 75 would be right here, the midway point between 70 and 80. And then 46 would be right next to the midway point between 40 and 50. Which one is closer to a decade? So let's look at 75. 75 is right smack in the middle. So it's 5 away from 70 and 5 away from 80. So let's check back with 46. 46, 4 away from 50, right? 6 away from 40, but still 4 away from 50 is closer to 5 away. So that means 46 is closer to a multiple of 10. Okay, so that was just a little bit of a warm-up, and that's going to help us estimate. So right here, really minute handwriting right at the top says estimate, which is a skill we're going to be working with today, just like I mentioned earlier. Okay, so who remembers what estimate means? Do you remember that skill? We did it a while ago. We worked on it in closer to the beginning of the year. I'm going to give you a second. You can pause the video if you want some more time to think about it. What is estimating? What does it mean? What do we have to do? Are you ready? So estimate means you're making an educated guess, right? An educated guess is a guess that makes sense and that you have a reason you can back it up. You can say why you're estimating this. So it's an educated guess, not a silly guess that you come up with for no reason. It's an educated guess that you can back up with evidence with why you guess that. Okay? So why would we estimate, you're thinking? Well, we estimate all the time in real life and in math problems to get close to answers, okay, to help us solve them. So let's looky here. We have two strips. We have 28 and 85, okay? And our job today is to use estimation to figure out the difference between these two strips. So if I'm looking for the difference, are we going to be subtracting or adding? The difference. So the difference is subtraction. We want to figure out what the difference is. So all of this space right here is the difference. So to figure that out, we're going to have to estimate. I don't know about you, but I don't know what 85 take away 28 is in a snap. Do you? I doubt it. So instead of solving 85 take away 28, let's try and estimate. So to estimate, we want to take one of these two numbers, okay? And which of these two numbers is close to a number you would say when you count by 10? We know 85 is right in the middle, but let's look at 28. 28 would be way over here. 28 is right next to a friendly number, isn't it? It's right next to the number 30, which is a really friendly number. So you know what? I'm going to write an equation. Whoops. I'm going to write, oh, sorry. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to write an equation to help me solve this answer with estimation. So I'm going to do 85 take away 30. And the reason I'm doing 30, remember, is because it's really close to 28. But 30 is a much more friendly number. Okay, so that is why I chose 30. Would it make much sense to do 85 minus 20? No, because that's 8 whole ticks away, right? But 30 is only 2, so that's super close. So if we do 85, take away 30, that gets us pretty close to the answer that we're looking for, the difference between 85 and 28. And luckily, I can do 85 minus 30 in my head in a snap. I just have to count back 3 tens. So I'm at 85, 75, 65, 55. So 85 take away 28 is about 55. It's really close to 55. Okay? So that is how you can use estimation to help solve a problem. We're going to try one more. So we have 45 and 72. We want to figure out the difference between 45 and 72. Which of these two numbers is close to a 10? Look at your ones place to help you. 72 is pretty close to a 10, isn't it? It's close to 70, a nice friendly decade number. So I'm going to write my equation, 70 take away 45. Because I can do 70 take away 45 in my head a lot quicker than I can do 72 take away 45. So now that I'm at 70, I'm going to use my number line to help me this time. I'm going to go back 4 jumps of 10. Went back my 4 jumps of 10, and now I have to go back a friendly jump of 5. And I get 25.